Just by adjusting a few very small habits, each breaststroke, even at age 60 and beyond, can suddenly feel lighter, almost surprisingly so, like a gentle gift from the water itself. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share something many older adults in the US often tell me. Breaststroke looks slow and relaxing, yet the more they swim, the heavier it feels. The harder they try, the less they seem to move. In reality, the cause isn't health or age. It all begins with 3 mistakes in breaststroke. Mistakes that seem tiny but quietly throw the body off balance and drain energy. When we understand them and correct them, breaststroke no longer feels like wrestling with the water. Instead, it becomes a way to relax, unwind, and enjoy the grace of growing older with ease. Before we dive in, leave a comment with the number 1 if you've ever felt like you were working really hard in the water but barely moving forward. I'd love to hear your story. When people think about breaststroke, they usually picture the arms stretching forward and the legs kicking back. But the real secret to swimming lightly, yet still moving quickly, lies in something very few talk about: the glide. It's that brief moment when the body relaxes, stretches out, and slides forward quietly. That moment is what saves your energy and reveals the subtle beauty of breaststroke. But to glide well, we first need to avoid 3 mistakes that most people over 60 tend to make. And the story begins with the first mistake, one that often makes people think they're getting weaker, when really, they just need the tiniest adjustment. The first mistake happens when the body refuses to fully stretch out to glide. I've seen this in so many older swimmers in public pools across California and Texas. After a fairly strong kick, they immediately curl up, lift their head high, and look forward to feel safe. And it's completely understandable. When age comes, the neck and back aren't as flexible, and everyone wants to know where they're going. But that act of lifting the head creates huge resistance. The water doesn't flow around the body. It hits the face and chest straight on, slowing everything down. The more the head rises, the more the back arches, the deeper the hips sink, and the heavier the entire body becomes. Research from the American Institute of Sports Science once showed that lifting the head just 10 degrees can increase drag by more than 20%. For younger swimmers, that's a challenge. For anyone past 60, it's an unnecessary burden. The fix sounds simple, but the change feels almost magical. Let the head sink halfway in, eyes looking down the soft, shimmering line of the pool. When the spine straightens, the shoulders and hips fall into alignment, and the body becomes like an arrow gliding through the water. And when you hold this position for just 1 or 2 seconds after the kick, you'll feel something very special. The body moves forward on its own, instead of needing force. This is the core of the gliding technique. So if you want to remember it, drop an OK in the comments. I'll know this part truly helped you. From that long, quiet stretch of the body, we drift gently into the second mistake, one that doesn't come from the muscles at all, but from the rhythm of breathing. The second mistake is breathing too quickly, breathing out of rhythm. Many older swimmers tell me they're always afraid of running out of air. So after every arm pull, they rush their head up, quickly, urgently, as if rising after a long time underwater. But that rush breaks the rhythm. The head shoots up too sharply, the chest rises forward, the body loses balance, and the legs sink. In the end, instead of moving forward, most of the effort goes into lifting the body above the water. Completely wasted energy. Respiratory experts at the Mayo Clinic have an interesting observation. When people worry about breathing, they tend to inhale deeply but forget to exhale. CO2 builds up in the lungs, creating a tightness that makes them breathe even faster. A tiring loop. The solution is as gentle as a reminder. Exhale completely underwater. Only inhale when you rise. Fully exhaling underwater resets the rhythm, creating a calm space so that when the head rises, a light inhale is all you need. Water offers the kind of quiet breathing practice no other environment can. One exercise I often recommend for swimmers over 60 is the bubble drill. Stand at the pool's edge, dip your face in, and blow slow bubbles. It's simple, but it teaches the lungs to breathe steadily, helping the mind stay calm when submerged. And once breathing falls into rhythm, the whole stroke settles into harmony, and the body feels as though the water itself is carrying it forward. From breath, we drift into the third mistake, one that lives in the legs, the very source of propulsion in breaststroke. The third mistake happens when the kick is too strong or too wide. Older swimmers often feel that opening their legs wide will generate more force, or kicking harder will help them move faster. But water doesn't work that way. A wide kick strains the inner thighs, compresses the knees and twists the joints, while most of the force escapes sideways rather than sending the body forward. True breaststroke is more of a technique than a display of power. Kicking too hard prevents gliding. The body just bounces up and sinks down. Kicking too wide increases drag, stressing the knees and leaving many swimmers feeling sore afterward. A study at Stanford University found that most forward propulsion in breaststroke comes not from opening the legs, but from snapping them together cleanly after the kick. When the legs close firmly, the water funnels straight behind you, creating a smooth, strong push. So instead of thinking wider means stronger, try thinking tighter means farther. One exercise I often recommend is sitting on a bench or the pool edge and practicing the slow motion of draw in, kick, close, as if you're turning a soft, gentle fan in the water. Slow enough to feel every movement, so the muscles relearn the correct path. When the legs do their part properly, the whole body falls into a unified rhythm, and the glide after each kick becomes longer, lighter, and far more enjoyable. And when all three mistakes loosen their grip, breaststroke becomes a journey of relaxation rather than effort. The rhythm no longer feels like a rigid 1-2-3, but a flow. The hands sweep softly, the body rises to breathe, and the legs send you sliding forward as if guided by the water itself. For older adults, the most beautiful part isn't how fast you swim, but how each stroke nurtures your heart, your joints, your breath, and even your mind. When you keep the body stretched, breathe rhythmically, and kick with gentle precision, you'll find yourself swimming farther without fatigue. Afterward, your body may feel lighter and your spirit calmer, almost like you've meditated beneath the surface. When we understand how the body blends with water, we no longer swim to push forward, but swim to return to a gentler, deeper rhythm of living. And that's why these 3 small breaststroke mistakes create such big differences. It's not age that keeps us from swimming beautifully or lightly. It's simply that each movement needs a bit more listening, a bit more understanding. I hope that from today on, when you step into the pool, every stroke feels less strained and more peaceful. Try correcting these 3 points and notice how your body changes after just a few sessions. If this video brought you anything helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. There are many more stories ahead, stories about health, movement, and the quiet beauty of growing older.